we begin? There's been so many crazy interviews the last couple of days that I don't even know where to start. I wasn't lying when I said this is a huge show. It was a huge show. You had the Stormy Daniels interview on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
Which, oh boy, I don't know where to start with this. Do I believe that it probably went down? Yes.
Sure. Yes,
I do.
Yes.
Do I believe Trump fucked porn stars 12 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
As do Bill Clinton and probably every fucking president, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
I remember when...
Kennedy for sure.
Well, yeah. But I remember Bush Sr. too got popped for sexual harassment, grabbing people's asses during pictures and all that shit. And they had that picture of him and he had to say an apology that it was an off-color joke. This shit has been going on for fucking ever. Ronald Reagan was an actor. Imagine what he got into back in the day before Nance came around.
Nan.
Yeah. And I watched this interview with Anderson Cooper, and I put a tweet up about it afterwards that a lot of people responded to, where I just said, after watching it, I don't know who I feel worse for on this. It's definitely not Stormy Daniels. I think it's Anderson Cooper, where he used to be the wars and hurricanes guy. Like, he was my dude, winning Emmys in the storm, making a difference in the world. He's a fucking Vanderbilt, for Christ's sakes.
Right.
Now he's interviewing porn stars. Like, that's what I do on Drinking Bros.
Right.
Like, that's
all because he just wants to be that. Like, he used to be the guy that wanted to, like, get in the storm and be there right when that exact bomb hit. The biggest one. Now he wants to be the one to take Trump down, right? So he wants to be the one that has that interview or that thing or whatever that's going to take him down. And his quest for that has taken him into some pretty sad places. Dark
places. And he doesn't need the money. He doesn't need to do this shit. I can't figure out whether he's doing it for himself at this point or to chase ratings, because this something like this is obviously a ratings chaser. It was the highest ratings that that 60 Minutes had in about 20 years. Everybody wanted to see this fucking thing, but it when you're interviewing a porn star, first of all, her eyes and her pupils were dilated to an nth level, where it had to be either coke or some type of methamphetamine or something.
Doesn't that go pin?
It goes pin with bright lights. So they showed Anderson Cooper's eyes, her eyes, and then the lawyer. The lawyer was on the show as well. Anderson Cooper and the lawyer's eyes, same light, same everything, are the same. Right. Hers are balsamic, where it's just like, all right, clearly she's on drugs.
Okay.
So it's hard to watch, and she's got these colored contacts in, and on top of it, and you're just like, all right, what the fuck is going on? And then to hear Anderson Cooper say, did the presidents wear a condom with you during intercourse? You're just like, oh boy. You're just watching his career go further and further down. He
wasn't the president at that point.
No, wasn't the president at that point. And it's Anderson Cooper, where you're just like, man, are you really interviewing? Like, all the shit that Anderson Cooper rails against, and now you're interviewing a porn star on 60 Minutes on Sunday.
That you clearly didn't do, or maybe you did do a pre-interview and you were like, oh.
So with this, and out of the information that came out of this, it's kind of her word against his at this point, hers against the president's.
What's the wrongdoing though?
The wrongdoing is that he was married at the time to Melania.
Oh.
But look, if I'm being reals here, just keeping it reals, he's Donald Trump. He's been married. This is his third marriage at this point. Let's face it, Melania, that's not probably somebody he's sitting there having long conversations with at night about the world. Super crazy hot, mind-altering hot. But you have to know, probably, is Melania going into that relationship what you're getting into, one would say?
Yeah, she thought she did.
Yeah, well,
she didn't think.
She didn't think he'd be president.
No.
But with all of the rest of that shit, and being around that country club lifestyle and those jet setters and Wall Street people, I would have to assume she's seen this for fucking 15 years at this point and probably just doesn't care.
Yeah, and this girl took the money, the hush money.
Yes.
So you're supposed to hush.
Yeah.
Right, though?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And she signed an NDA.
Yeah, that's how it
some of the
works.
signatures didn't match. Like, the whole fucking thing is weird. And what I found was that, because the next day you kind of check online to see what people were saying about it or whatever. No one cared.
Yeah.
No one cared. And the craziest thing is, I was at the gym yesterday, and CNN, look, is all hate Trump all day long, and that's fine. That's what they're building their ratings on, and
Sure.
that's it. They had his approval rating up, and the guy seemed surprised when the number popped up on screen, that it was his highest that he's had since he took office. So it was just like, what's the reasoning behind it? And this is what I kept trying to think about after seeing that, where I was like, all right, what's the reason for that? And I think all of this shit every single day that you hear about the president is finally grinding on people enough to where they're like, man, this seems like a takedown job by the media every single day. And I think the people are fed up with it, and they don't really care. The economy's doing great. All this other shit is doing. I just don't think people give a fuck anymore. The other thing that I think is going to harm the Democrats on this side of the media going in for 2020 is, if his approval ratings are this high after a porn star came out and said he had sex with him in an adulterous relationship, what else? What could possibly take him down then?
Right.
You have the grab him by the pussy episode with Billy Bush.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything, and that was 10 days before the election. You had the Stormy Daniels thing during the presidency. Mm-hmm. You have the fucking Russia investigation.
Right.
Nothing's taking this guy down.
Right.
So if you're looking at this after this week and everything else that's gone on, and you're looking at towards 2020, which you should be, because the primaries are starting next year. Mm-hmm. You've got to look at this and say, what the fuck else do we have to do? Like, what do we do to stop this guy?
They just need to bring in a candidate that can go up against him. That's the only thing that they should be focusing on.
At this point, and I had this conversation.
No, they're not going to find any at this point, because they've been
sticking
around.
I had this conversation at a dinner the other night, and there was a bunch of people listening to the show were asking me, and they were like, dude, you're Rostradamus. What's your prediction on this? And I was like, I literally said, I think at this point, it's Oprah or bust. To win, and that's it.
It's not going to happen. So I guess it's nobody.
I guess. So you never know. There could be an underlying person out there who's just like an Obama who comes out of nowhere.
I don't think there is one. I'm just saying the reason that they're not going to have one is because they're focusing their energy on porn stars in Russia, which I get it, man.
Yeah, it's great. Look,
Russia,
it is great for ratings.
Yeah.
Really great for ratings. Anything Trump is great for ratings, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But again, if you keep bitching about this, you will have nothing. So like after watching this interview, I felt the worst for Anderson Cooper.
Yeah.
The Trump thing, didn't care, probably knew it anyways. I would wager to say Trump has been famous for a long time and rich for a long time and rolling with that crowd for a long, long time at this point. Mm. The shit that they've probably gotten into.
Rolling with that crowd.
Well, you know that crowd where it's just like the rich hang out with the rich. They do all this fucked up shit around the world. I guarantee you he's, had fucking threesomes, foursomes, you name it. He's probably done it.
Yeah.
So that would not surprise me either. Yeah. So is everybody else just kind of numb to it like me, where it's just like, it's probably who he was?
Yeah, because that just seems the way he is. Like I've always said, we just don't like hypocrites, right? So he doesn't claim to not be that type of person.
No.
And we believe that his wife kind of knows what she's gotten into, and we're all kind of like, you make the bed. Yeah. So I mean, she doesn't make the bed, but you know what I'm saying? Metaphorically, you make the bed.
He makes the bed, actually. He makes his own bed every day.
Crazy. So she's in a relationship where she doesn't even have to make the bed.
Yeah.
So she's good.
Barely speaks English. Like, I think she knew what she got into.
She good. So that's how it's not like they're these, it's not like Pence.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where like
now,
if he
right.
did that, it would be like, oh my God,
it would,
you're like this, Christian fucking homosexual.
Yeah. You think he's gay?
Man, I think so. I think he's, which is fine. I just think he's gone to a conversion camp, a couple of them.
Sure.
To try and get the gay out of him.
Yeah. When you call your wife mother, it's, it's a red flag.
Yeah. And I'm, that's fine. It's just, don't go so hard at the gays because that's a telltale as well.
Yeah, it is.
That's what they teach you at the camps.
It really is.
Be a total homophobic.
Yeah. Super over the top.
So if Pence did that, or if anything, even if his homosexual shit comes out, we knew.
Yeah, we knew.
We knew. So it's like you present the way that you are. So everything that's coming out is exactly on brand.
Right.
So we're okay with that. It's when you start going Eminem on us, right? That we don't like that.
I think you cracked the code today. You're right. All of this stuff, porn star, everything else, you're on brand. You're right.
On brand. If it's, what would make us be like, that's what you have to think about. Like, what would be hypocritical for Trump? What would be off brand for Trump that would make us be like, oh, he... I don't know.
I don't know at this point. I don't know. If he had, just like if he was driving a bus full of Mexicans, illegal Mexicans over the border, maybe like
there
that would
you
be
go.
the last.
There you go. Yes. Something like that, where it's like his whole platform is built on this, right? And then it's like he's doing this one thing, or they have pictures of him back in the day,
just
partying
hanging
in
out
Mexico with like Mexican dudes.
True,
let's go there. Yeah.
True caballeros.
Working
what do you
with
call
them?
them? Rancheros.
I call them rancheros, just like the huevos. Because I know. What did Lindsay tell us it was? Caballeros?
Yeah, caballeros, I think.
I learned something, Lindsay.
Yeah, you learned something new every day.
I hear you guys,
Lindsay
okay?
Haney?
Yeah, I hear you guys, okay?